This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Brian Edward Hill, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all.
This is a world of Capes and Lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Good evening. It has begun. Your weekly dose of pure chaos is being injected into your veins as we speak. And Charlie Esther's at the dentist. I don't know. All right. Anyway, Capes and Lunatics, episode 107 starts right now.
We're not a radio station. It's 107, okay? We've had this discussion, Philip.
Hello. Welcome to the Capes and Lunatics 107. Capes and Lunatics powered by Southgate Media Group, WSMG. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, the most patient man in show business,
Charlie, the Professor Esser. I was late than everyone else was, and so I was earned.
And the most dangerous, the most drunk, the most everything, Miss.
Hey, y'all, it's Lilith.
Just for the record, I think I drink way more than Lilith does.
Well, he doesn't. All right, let's get into this.
Wait,
what?
Philip, I just have to say, did you start the Brian Edward Hill drop, our show with the Brian Edward Hill drop, because Angel number 1 is out this week?
No, it was just pure coincidence, but.
Oh, so I take it you did not pick it up, and we will not be discussing it on our Angel podcast. Okay.
We can. No, I'll run. I can try to run to the store and get that.
Okay.
All right.
They sell those right at the comic book store, Lilith.
At the comics, at the newsstand, yeah.
I don't know. Boom is hard to find sometimes in certain areas. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to check. But Lilith.
Yeah. He lives in Pittsburgh, not Podunk, Florida.
Iowa. Oh.
Excuse me. Our comic book shops get John Romita Jr. on Comic Book Day, so it's not so podunk after all.
Well, that's fine. I'm not arguing.
I find my comic books just fine. I just know up north, I really actually do have trouble finding comic books up north. So.
When I get into those,
I guarantee you, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, home of James, the editor-in-chief shooter, they have everything you could ever want and more.
I'll have to see about that in August, maybe. I don't know. Challenge accepted.
When I go into those,
there we go.
When I go into those Yankee comic stores, I go and find my Boom.
Are we sure that's just iced tea in Philip's cup anymore? Somebody check on Philip.
It's from Long Island. No.
Yes.
Lilith, did you see Brightburn?
I did. I had to watch it like 3 times. I was just to make sure that I was getting what I was supposed to be getting out of it.
Charlie and I haven't seen it yet, but I know Charlie wants to talk the concept of it, so.
I mean, it's not like we haven't seen it in a Superman Elseworlds tale before, is my point.
Yeah.
It's the movie that maybe, they wanted to make instead of Man of Steel. I don't know. That's what it feels like. When you watch Brightburn, you're like, maybe that was the movie they were actually making all along.
Well, here's what I want to say. This is what I love about the concept. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet. And the execution may fail in the concept in my mind, as often things do. This is the problem when you have fan theories about things you haven't seen yet. But if we are, first off, I appreciate the idea of them acknowledging the fact that if you're going to do an evil Superman story, it probably starts with an evil Superboy.
Mm-hmm.
And we really, with the exception of either Superboy Prime, who wasn't evil until his universe got destroyed, and the Sovereign, we've never really seen an evil Superboy except for one Elseworld story from the 50s, I think, where there was an evil Superboy in that one too. So, okay, so this is our fourth evil Superboy in history.
Good.
I gotta do some deep dives to find the other ones, but I like this idea of an evil Superboy because it does make sense from that idea of what if your parents couldn't spank you. Or here's the
Not
thing.
everybody is a Mod Kent. Yes.
Well, but not even that. Here's the thing.
But
I don't hit my kids, but the fact that I'm a very large man in comparison to them makes my judgments and my shaming them much more powerful.
For now.
They are, well, yeah. I mean, obviously for now, but I'm also still a very large man. So when it gets to that point, I was raised I wasn't really raised a redneck, but I was raised in a blue collar environment in which, I can handle myself.
I'm not a
But
man.
the idea that, this child that feels they can do anything and suddenly no longer wants to listen to you, which, for what it's worth, is its own, my basic theory on sociopathology is that it's when children are intelligent enough to learn social graces without learning empathy. And since I believe as a part of this is the idea that he also has super intelligence, he may fit into that group where he has that super intelligence and so has super knowledge of how you are supposed to act, and as such is not acting appropriately, or only chooses to act appropriately when it's in his advantage, though at the same time it never becomes in his advantage. I find that a very fascinating idea. I was listening to the Black Nerds review of it. And he does do some spoilery stuff on it. And he does make the point that only the people that are nice to him get hurt.
Yeah.
In fact, he points out that there's one black kid in the story who is always bullying Breitbart. Nothing bad ever happens to him in the whole series. So watch that kid. He's going to be the Lex Luthor. You watch.
he's gonna be the savior of humanity.
He's going to find the Brightburnite.
No, he's just gonna get a plane dropped on him. No worries.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. Because I do get the feeling that James Gunn is building.
Oh, they set up a sequel. They definitely did.
Yeah.
But I didn't check the box office on it though, so I don't know if it made the money to make a sequel.
It didn't cost much. It didn't cost much. It's like,
but they want to set up a Dark Justice League better than the Dark Justice League that we have, so that will take money. So.
Well, that will take money, but all it needs to do is make its money back. Once it's made its money back and establishes a concept, and then you bring in Wayne Wilson as our Dark Universe Squadron Sinister Batman, suddenly things get a little interesting. Because as they're going through different other heroes in the end credit scene, they do throw up Wayne Wilson as the Wrench. And this fascinates me because, of course, he is a powerless person who is driven by his own insanities, much like a certain black-clad vigilante we know. And
vigilantes,
I like that idea. Well, yes, but I did enjoy it as a concept, and I am really interested in wondering where they're going to go next with it.
I love James Wan because I'm a big horror fan, so his cinematography, his scoring, all his movies, they have that they scratch that itch in the horror field. And this one was just kind of I don't know, I feel like his concept got a little diluted. I don't know, somewhere down about halfway through the story, it's just it gets a little, and then it gets better. But so, like I said, I watched it 3 times. I'm just okay, I think I got out of it what I needed to get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, as I understand, as a horror film, it hits a lot of cliches. And
Yeah.
that was one of Black Nerd's kind of.
It definitely
criticisms of
doesn't
it.
subvert expectations. And I say that in a good way after my Game of Thrones fiasco, season 8. F you.
Whoa!
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
I
What?
believe it's saying it made like 20.4 million.
I don't know how much it costs to make, so
The budget Wikipedia is saying between 6 and 12 million.
Well, what was the marketing budget? Because that's always separate. So they could have just barely made its money if you include marketing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I could
Well, you know, well, it didn't
But
have
it's
that
James
heavy of
Wan
marketing
too,
either.
so it's like, okay, we could probably he has friends that could pony up if he really wants to do.
I could see this thing having life, after the theater, like stream.
Oh yeah, it's gonna definitely do that.
Well, when you think about the other film in this series, Super, that is where it really got its. I mean, I think it actually started as a cable film, and they may not even be writing to that market anymore. They may be looking at an Amazon or a Netflix and saying, "Hey, look, we can build a super universe for you."
It worked for J.J. Abrams, I guess.
Yeah. Well, not for nothing. I think there's some strength in that. The idea of, both Netflix and Amazon are both really putting out their strong foot right now in anticipation of the coming juggernaut, the awakening celestial that is Disney Plus.
Amazon's just spending money to spend money.
Well, no,
but Netflix
they're
is
spending money to
seriously
hold
trying
on to
to
their
get a
marketplace
foothold.
when the celestial arrives. I mean, to be honest, what Amazon is doing is they need to hold this market spot because they know when Disney Plus arises, they're going to suck all the air out of the universe. And
Jeff
only
Bezos,
the strong will
bro.
survive.
That's all I'm saying. He's got other priorities. That's why, like, they cancel stuff left and right on Amazon, and there's just everybody's like, it just is what it is when you watch something on Amazon. So,
well, yeah, but the fact of the matter is, all that stuff's still there.
Yeah, of course.
It's like if they cancel it, it's still there. It's not like it stopped being there. And so, for example, let's say, man, I don't know, is man,
hashtag still bitter.
Let's say the Tick, 2 years from now, starts getting another revival. Everyone's like, oh, we love Tick, and then Amazon says, hey, let's do that season 3. Because they can. What's going to stop them? And that is what we're looking at with something like Amazon. All things being equal. And when Disney Plus comes out, and between Disney Plus and Hulu becomes, the twin-headed dragon, upon which the Whore of Babylon sits, they're going to have to find a way to keep themselves active in that universe, and it's going to be hard.
Listen, they have Prime. Like, that's all you need. Like, literally, that all the Prime money that we pay, that's just there. That's, like I said, he does not really care about that side of Amazon. He has other priorities. That's just something fun for him to dink around with.
I think you Here's what I'm going to say. I think you underestimate the value of the media on Prime. Yes, we get the media free with Prime. Fact of the matter is that they know that if they had it, here's what I'm going to tell you. There's a good chance that the media keeps people hanging on to Prime, and so continuing to use Prime as a shopping option rather than if they offered the media wholesale. So let's say you could get Prime Media for $10 a month. People might switch from Prime for $12 a month, just to get the media, because they watch the media far more than they actually order things from Amazon. The advantage of the Prime business model is that there's something to keep you occupied while you're waiting in line at the checkout. So, magazines like the National Enquirer, Us Weekly, People, etc., they make their business off of having something for you to look at while you're in the checkout lane. Now, there's no checkout lane in Amazon. So they have these shows that you're paying for when you're not actively ordering something from Amazon Prime. Because if you go a month without ordering something from Amazon, you're going to say, well, why am I paying that money for Amazon Prime? And then you say, well, I ordered that. And what? It would have come 3 days later if I didn't have free shipping? Well, what do I care?
Oh,
So
people
what actually
care,
keeps
Charlie.
people...
This is what I'm telling you. Like the demographic for Amazon, like what he counts on, they're not watching. 90% of the people. It's like you're like the 10% that are watching those Amazon shows.
I don't know, love. I gotta say that sounds like demographic mumbo jumbo that people who are trying to keep their jobs tell people. That doesn't sound like actual real world economics.
Like I said, he's got a lot of money to play with, and he's got something like he bought Twitch, he bought whole, he does all these things, and they all just kind of fall to the wayside. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon Prime shows just fell off the earth in like 5 years. I would not be surprised.
Here's what I'm going to tell you is like people who think that the Washington Post was a vanity purchase. I don't think anyone makes that kind of a purchase as a vanity. That's not a license plate. That's all I'm saying, And I don't think Prime is a vanity purchase.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong. Here's what I'll tell you. I know for me, that is why we keep it. Because I know without it, I would be arguing with my wife every week about why we're keeping it.
Yeah, I literally get stuff shipped to me every day, so.
Well, yeah,
I'm that person.
Wife, but sometimes she uses eBay or Etsy, and that's not through Prime.
Mm.
So the fact of the matter is Amazon has a lot of competitors in the
literally though, like
$10.
It's only like what 11% of like internet purchases are on like eBay or something like that. It's way down there. eBay is way down. It's like the last one.
I understand that, but the fact of the matter is that assuming that's all there is basically it's like Ford saying, oh, what the Japanese cars, those what there's like in 1962, it's like, oh yeah, who cares if the Japanese sell cars here? It's like maybe you should have cared a little more.
Well,
and I think Bezos cares a little
I would
more.
just say that eBay is atrocious. I hate eBay.
I don't know about eBay. I don't know about Etsy. Honestly, I'm not too fond of my wife using eBay either, but she does it because it's her money. She spends it, and I'm following the boss on that. But the fact of the matter is that we pay shipping there. eBay doesn't have an eBay Prime yet,
and they never will.
They never will because that's not their business.
Because Amazon again has that hook. You'll never get a package from eBay on Sunday. I'll tell you that much.
No, well, but what do I care? What you think I'm home on Sunday? That's the thing. It's like, when am I even home? When am I here to get this stuff? That's the thing. It's like,
you let us go on.
On and on and on.
Where's your agenda?
Just saying, if you're not, I think you first off, it's not like it's overnight. It's 2 days.
Oh yes, sir.
And once it's 2 day, it might as well be 3 day or 5 day.
Oh, my stuff comes same day, but your market may vary.
Next day, but same day.
All depends on what.
I live in a really big market. I live in a really big FedEx and UPS hub. So
but it depends what time too you order.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you might be ordering stuff that they have on stock, like I don't know, whatever it is you order.
Furniture, beauty supplies, clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I happen to live in a big market, so for me, it's worth it without the TV shows. That's it.
But anyway, speaking of digital media, I know
Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing.
I was gonna say Swamp Thing episode 1 because I know Charlie got rid of DC Universe.
I don't blame him on that. It's not something Charlie Hester would like. It's not worth it to him.
Yeah, well, for real. I mean, is Adrian Barbeau in it? No,
but the lead.
And that's a good thing.
I kid. On Adrian Barbeau now.
I kid. I do. I actually enjoy the original Swamp Thing. Out of my mouth. No, I do. Yeah. I have a thing for the original Swamp Thing 1 and 2.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, but
the lead actress.
Yeah, I mean,
though.
Tell me, How was it? Was it a good show, gentlemen and lady?
I mean, it's only one episode.
Yeah, it's only one episode. I loved all the detail in it, but I just I can't get invested because I know that they stopped production on it until they sort their whole thing out. So it's just kind of like,
well, yeah,
it has that cloud over its head. Like, okay, if I like it, it's a chance it's not going to have another season because it's DC.
Wasn't it supposed to go at least 12 or 13, and they cut them at 10?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 13, and they were just like. And then the thing they did with Titans season 1, and it's just like, I don't know if I'm like, I mean, I love Doom Patrol. Like, that is by far my favorite show on that platform. But like Swamp Thing, at least it looks nice.
It does. I mean, I don't know if it was just me, but I thought it almost looked like movie like was shot.
Yeah, it's definitely a AAA title. I know they're probably putting over $5 million per episode. So, and it shows.
It looks nice. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you guys seen Good Omens yet?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So, because I saw Good Omens. I saw the first episode of that, and that was fantastic. How does Good Omens over on Amazon Prime, which, is just a fantasy project, of course, compare to Swamp Thing?
Well, notice also how long has Amazon Prime been doing their TV shows, and that's like the first real big get that they've gotten is all that I'm saying. And it's all
I don't know. They had Men in a High Castle. They've had a lot of shows.
Those are properties. I'm talking about actual big name people behind stuff. So it's like a whole thing over there. But anyway,
I mean,
it's two different things for me. It's like, it's about time somebody adapted that.
I think they're kind of comparable. In the sense that they're, first off, it's not like DC is some crazy little startup out in the Silicon Valley. No, they're AT&T Time Warner.
They're Good Omens as opposed to what you need for Swamp Thing. It's like that. That's what I mean. It's kind of like different. Things. But I like Good Omens, but it kind of disappointed my expectations, especially with it being on, being Amazon. Like they do all their shows are pretty much movie quality things. So, but the story is good, but Swamp Thing, I was like, wow, this looks really good compared to say season 1 of Titans and even the first 3 episodes of Doom Patrol, where I was just like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have, if you would have put this on the big screen, I wouldn't have, been like, oh no, this is the TV show,
Yeah.
But I mean, it was basically the origin story, Charlie Esther, something weird's going on in the swamp, people are dying, but then, first Abby comes to town. What is she, part of the CDC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they're trying to make Abby proactive, because if she was going to be that whiny chick from the comic books, it just was not going to work. So
and then
I did appreciate that.
And then she runs into Dr. Alec Holland.
Oh, okay. So Alec Holland isn't the Swamp Thing yet.
No.
Not till the end of the episode. Yeah, no.
Okay, so from where we're at right now, people are dying in the swamp, assumably from unmen. And Holland is working on his whatever it is he was working on.
Well, basically, it's what is it, Lilith? Someone's dumping something in the swamp, and it's
I think it was Jim Gordon bringing his stuff from Gotham. I feel like the show's gonna get super crazy in a good way. So
yeah. Oh, but
unless they learned the wrong lesson from Doom Patrol, and they stopped production to get more Doom Patrol-y, which I don't know if that's a good thing.
Or maybe we're waiting on Matt Ryan. I don't know. It could be a surprise. It could be a whole thing.
I think it's all, are we going to continue as our own separate app, or are we going to do
it's a big dispute about it, about what they're going to do with it. I was like, well, you should have thought about that. You knew when you were doing that what was going on with AT&T. It's just a mess. Yeah, I'm so sick of it. But
not only that, it's not like that you need to stop anything when having that debate. Because you should be doing more of what you want to do, so that when you do get folded in, you have more cachet. To start holding back because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, like I said, they're also pouring a crap ton of money into it. And let's be real, Swamp Thing, nobody was really, except for maybe me, was clamoring for that. Finally, it's something that Lilith likes, but you know, it's one of those things. It's like maybe we just cut our losses.
But again, I think it's the corporation's decision, and you know, when do corporations make common sense decisions?
Listen, how many times did
All the
AT&T
time.
change their name? South Bell, blah blah. Like it's a whole thing. So I'm just like, whatever.
Well, they were
People
AT&T,
behind the DC stuff,
and then they got busted up, and there were several other companies,
yeah,
and then
they got back
reformed and
together.
said, we're back to being AT&T. Except
Well,
now
it could
we're
be worse.
lowercase.
They could have been MCI. You know, that guy's in jail. So
Well, you know, it was crazy in the 80s. You don't remember this, Lilith, because you weren't around when they broke up AT&T.
back in my day.
no.
Back in my day.
It was like the 90s when they did that.
No, Lilith, that was back in 1984, I believe, was in the Reagan.
Lilith, sit back and let the mansplaining happen.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it wasn't in the 90s, it was in the 80s. It was a big deal because there was a phone company prior to that. One nationwide phone company. There was Ma Bell. And then they said, you're too big and there's no competition, so we're going to break you up. And it was under the Reagan administration. It might have started under the Carter administration, the original prosecution, but it took hold under the Reagan administration and really got pushed forward. And because, of course, it's Republicans pushing forward the breaking up of monopoly, it really, you know, it looked legit. But then you got a bunch of Wild West telecoms coming in, Sprint and MCI. And eventually you wind up with our current modern telecommunications landscape, which ironically is like about a decade behind every other country's telecommunication landscape now.
Yeah, that's so true.
Wah, wah.
Is this all we're going to talk about, Philip? Do we have no other news? Come on.
I don't know. Phil, you're in control here. I just mentioned, I actually don't talk about Brightburn on
Charlie, come on, something comes out of Lil's mouth. You're like, no, this is what happened. And then she's like, no. Please.
I think you can look it up right now and find out when the dissolution of AT&T happened. We'll find it was in the 80s.
Anyway. Lilith, we finally got the reason why Tom King was leaving Batman.
Yeah, no, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, but no, I don't think we mentioned, because I think it just came out this week about him going to New Gods, though.
Yeah, no, we talked about that last week.
We talked about him leaving Batman, but I don't think they had announced when we recorded that he was co-writing New Gods.
Oh, maybe not. I don't feel like going back to listen.
Okay. No, I'm pretty sure, because I'm just like, why? They already had a writer.
Well, no, they had a director.
Oh, okay. I thought.
Oh, he's writing the New Gods movie?
Yeah.
They're doing a New Gods movie?
Ava DuVernay is like directing. I never really heard that they had actual script, though.
Oh, okay. But I thought I saw someone on Twitter or something. I thought she's co-writing it with him or something.
Oh, maybe then. But I know she's definitely directing.
And
I would not picture her for. Well, I shouldn't say that, but that's kind of a weird.
I'm just gonna say, I don't know if DC's ready to do a New Gods movie.
I know. I was like, they're still doing that? Like, that's crazy. Like, she should be directing Birds of Prey, because that is
no, not for nothing. Maybe that's exactly the right move to make right now, because, you know, let's throw caution to the wind and let's take something really obscure and see how we can make it fun and interesting. And in that case, Ms. DuVernay, whose name I have heard, and I do know the kinds of films she makes, might be the exact perfect person to do that, because she's going to bring into it a completely non-superheroic take on it, focus on character, and maybe it actually makes something incredibly interesting.
Well, that's what Mr. Miracle is really all about anyway. So it's just like, it's definitely character driven. So that would be nice. Well,
there we go. So we're focusing on the character of Mr. Miracle.
Are we?
I mean, if Tom's writing it, right? Like, that's what I'm assuming.
Again, I think it's co-writing, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know how much work was already done behind the concept. I don't know.
Well, probably because DuVernay has done the writing, so now they're bringing Tom King in to comic book it up.
Maybe. Yeah.
Like, oh, this could be any story. Let's let's make it comic booky.
And do you think DC
that might be a good thing?
Do you think DC's looking for that big win, so they want like two heads in there, like trying basically keeping each other in check? I don't know.
Well,
You know what they want is they want the heart
Russo
and
brothers.
they want the brain. You know?
Yeah,
Sorry.
anything's better than the Russo brothers, Lilith. Disney's not saying that as they're swimming through their huge money bin.
Yeah, the Russo
know,
brothers.
Like I don't like their directorial execution. Like that's just me. Like as a person who's like a real behind the scenes kind of person.
But they're putting his JELLO, Lilith. So the proof is right in there. That's all I'm saying. It's that they have got that top quality pudding. And,
well, just because a mass majority of people like something doesn't make it good. It makes it profitable. It doesn't make it good. That's all.
Yes, but
look, the fact that it's not just that it's profitable; it's also critically acclaimed.
It's reaching a
pay for fanboys, but whatever. Okay, we're just gonna move on. I'm not arguing with you guys today.
Sure.
The internet. Are you sure you'd be seeing a ton of fanboys saying, "What's everyone hyping this for? This is stupid."
I'm just saying, like, for me as a person that likes behind the scenes stuff and like, cinematography, scoring, things like that, and not a lot of CGI stuff that I have to see in IMAX, like, I'm just not here for that. Let's just move on.
Okay, well,
it's a personal opinion. It's fine. Let's just move on.
That's fine, Lilith. But it is a personal opinion. That's the point. Is that there's a personal opinion, and then there is consensus, and consensus.
Opinion out of my mouth.
The consensus is that it's actually okay.
It's okay.
Even if you don't want to say it's great, the consensus is, it's a good film. I'll tell you, Lilith. My father-in-law was not that impressed by Endgame, so there you go. He starts to go,
but I'm cynical and jaded. The MCU is just not for me, so it's just not.
Has anyone seen the trailer for Rambo: Last Blood yet?
No, but I heard.
No, is Stallone really still doing it? I mean, I guess if Arnold Schwarzenegger can go back to the Terminator franchise twice, I guess we can. But like, can we just before he hurts himself, we need to finish up that Apollo Creed, the Creed trilogy here. So
well, that's the thing.
Don't get
when
hurt.
he did Rocky, it made sense to say, okay, now we're going to have
a new, the younger guy. Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's going to do.
He's going to pass the
Here's the new Rambo.
Yeah.
Rambo Jr. I don't know.
Plot twist is Milo Ventimiglia, who was his son in like Rocky 5. What was it? Was it just Balboa? Yeah, Balboa. That's who he's gonna get. That's who he's gonna pass the torch to. His work's done on This Is Us. So
what I can actually say about Rambo is I have no idea who the villain is. Because I'm not quite sure if it's the government or some kind of cartel or some other evil brown person who is coming against
I've
him.
literally never seen a Rambo movie, Charlie. Never.
Oh, well, here's the thing. At first I thought, because it's like Rambo Last Blood. It's like, is this going to mirror First Blood, where he's attacked by the local sheriff and he has to go after the sheriff, and maybe the sheriff is, for whatever reason, coming back after him, or maybe the son of maybe there's some deep roots here, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like the Punisher attacking people. But I already have a really good Punisher show I'm watching. So I don't know why I need to see Last Blood.
Because if you're a Stallone fan, nostalgia is just, king of cock of the walk right now. So you just have to just.
I am a Stallone fan. I saw Oscar. Okay, so.
Oh my God.
Underrated film. Oscar is fantastic. Everyone should see Oscar.
Smoked it,
despite its obviously pandering name.
Wow. You're like only the fourth person I've ever known in my life that's seen that movie, by the way.
Well, I bet you if more than 4 people saw that film, there'd be more people who said they liked it. Let me ask you this. Of the 4 people who've seen it, have anyone said they didn't like the film?
2 people. So it's 2 for 2.
Okay.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed Oscar. I like a lot of stuff Stallone does. I like Stallone as an actor. He doesn't do much, but he does it well. He's like 4 keys on a piano, but man, he can play the heck out of those 4 keys.
All right, I know we talked about it last weekend, Lilith Hellfire, and I think he was the front runner, but it's official now. Rob Pattinson is.
Yeah, it's that Pat's official. Yeah, I had no doubt once they threw that name out there. They knew how polarizing it was going to be. There was no doubt in my mind that they were going to do it. As soon as his name
he's
popped up,
prettier than
like,
the other guy.
Who, Affleck?
No. I will say Affleck has the jawline. He has the big head to go with the entourage theory. It made perfect sense why they cast him, especially the older route. This Bat thing, it's like I like his acting outside of Twilight. Like watch Elephant for Water, Water for Elephants with Reese Witherspoon. I think he does have a Southern American accent in that one, if I remember right. That one is really good.
But who's the other actor who was in competition with Matt?
Some guy named Holt. Or something.
The guy who plays Beast in the new X-Men movies.
Yeah,
he's not a pretty man. Not compared to Batpet. I'm sorry, Batpet is a very pretty man.
Look at my butt.
And I think it's a fair concept to say Batman should be a very pretty man.
He should definitely have some Playboy swagger. But in this day and age, you don't need good looks for Playboy swagger as long as you got a billion with a B. Some girls they'll flock to you regardless.
Yeah, but you see the thing is, Bruce Wayne has to be a guy who doesn't need his billions of dollars to be a Playboy. That's the thing. He's got to be Cyrano de Bergerac's best friend, but with Cyrano inside of him. He's got to be not in that way, Phelps. Get your mind out of the gutter.
He can't help it. He misses Wayne's World. Wayne's World.
But Bruce Wayne has to be. Bruce Wayne has to be Ozymandias. I was like, I could lose everything and still be a billionaire tomorrow. Because he's just that good.
The whole Tony Stark thing. How many times he lost his fortune and rebuilt it in the comics?
Yeah, of course. Well, not for nothing. Fortune is on paper anyway. So it's like,
Listen, my Harry Potter people is going to come through for this Batman movie. That's what they're counting on. They want that Harry Potter fandom. It's another Warner Brother property, by the way. If you don't know, because I know you guys probably have never seen it. But I was just like, it makes sense. It's all coming to make sense now. The more that I thought about it, I was like, yes.
Was Batman in Harry Potter?
Yeah, was he?
Yeah, he was Cedric Diggory. He was in it up until the fourth movie. Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Plus you get all.
Well, there you go.
Plus you get.
I just knew him from Twilight, but that's okay.
No. Everybody that grew up liking Twilight hates Twilight now. So especially since him and Kristen Stewart aren't together anymore, it was just like, oh, okay. Really? But it's the Harry Potter fans that are going to come through.
Yeah, I mean that's sad. If you were a fan of Twilight and you're not a fan of Twilight now,
when you grow up, I don't get that. The glaring errors, and it's like, oh, I was just a lonely person who needed friends. This is why I clung on to that. Just saying, as a person who read it later in life, I was just like, I get why the girls liked it because basically Bella's a blank slate you can just throw yourself onto. Whoa. I get it. But it's nothing redeeming about those books.
Sparkly vampires.
Okay.
The movies, however, have a great score. Like I love the composer on those movies.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things I liked as a kid that I've outgrown, but I still like the concept of the shows.
No. There's nothing redeeming about Twilight. I'm just saying.
Okay, so Twilight is as bad as I thought it was. Okay, Good to know. I was outside their demographic anyway, so it's. I never read it, but I always thought, that sounds a little weird. Oh
yeah, what was the other movie I just saw with him in it? The Devil All the Time is a really good movie with Robert Pattinson. If you don't think that he has acting chops, I'm just trying to throw some movies out for you guys to watch.
I never doubt anyone has acting chops. You know what's funny in that original, what's it called? Swamp Thing. The actor who plays the dwarf Bruno,
Swamp Thing,
he actually had a role in the original Incredible Hulk series as a midget wrestler. And he's a very bad actor in that. But I realized after watching him where he's actually a really good actor in the Swamp Thing movie from the 80s. It's like, oh, he was playing a bad actor because he's a really bad actor as a midget wrestler. It's like, oh my gosh, that guy's actually probably one of the greatest actor ever lived. But we don't know it because he was just playing this role that he was like, doing all this quirky stuff, but that's how a guy who was that character, who was this verbose, over-boasting dwarf wrestler would be. As like, wow, and it blew my mind. And he is amazing in Swamp Thing. And honestly, he's the guy who makes Swamp Thing a good film to watch. All respect to Adrian Barbeau.
Swamp Thing.
Still don't know who played Dr. Holland in
that. Anyway, should we get to some comics?
Yes. I'm gonna spoil Angel for you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was so freaking good.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to run out and get this before we do the next episode of Angel Chronicles on the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Yeah, like I was kind of apprehensive about the whole thing that they were doing with the restart and reimagining of Buffy. Like that was kind of like bumpy. It took about four issues for me to be like really on board. But with this one, I'm like, hell yeah, I love it. I think Brian did a great job.
Cool.
It's like, yeah, it's. I don't know. Did any of you guys read American Carnage?
No.
Okay. No. Well, yeah, like it's because it was a little controversial, so I was a little worried that he was going to like try to be controversial here, but like no, it's like he's definitely a fan. You can kind of tell the artwork, and I'm not like really that big on the style, but the story really, really like makes up for that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, don't listen to Twitter.
So what happens in the plot? What's going on with Angel this week? This is Angel from the Buffy and Angel series, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah. Okay. So who's in it? Who do I know from the series that I will recognize in this episode?
You only need to worry about Angel right now, and that's what I love. I felt like he did get overshadowed towards the middle of the show, and like I like Angel. I like his mythology. We never really dug in as deep as we could, and I feel like that's where he's going with this.
Okay, so where is it? Where are we taking place? Are we in LA? Are we in
we're in
16th
LA right
century
now.
France? Okay, so we're in LA. Okay, I'm trying to sell this book for you, Lilith. So I'm trying to help you. You got to give people.
I mean, either you like Angel or you don't. It's kind of one of those things. Like well, I'm not like really like big on that faith thing that they redid, and I was just like, so it's a good restart. It's a good restarting point.
Lilith will fix it because Lilith fixes everything. Yeah, I will say this: I love Angel. But I can't buy everything.
Yeah, it is. It was the best $4 I spent this week for me. Yeah. And I'm surprised because usually Boom Studios are not the best $4 that I spend all week.
But it was worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the artwork is just gonna grow. It's kind of. I think they just need to. It needs to evolve. They need to find each other's patterns.
Mm-hmm.
What's weird with Boom is that they're just licensed properties. Which makes everything feel
like it.
I don't think they have any originals. I believe so. It makes everything feel a bit like a cash grab.
I feel like Lumberjanes is original.
Oh, Lumberjanes is one of theirs.
Yeah. Okay. Smooth Criminals. What else do I? Coda is theirs. I think that's all original. And they just I didn't pick it up, but I probably will go back. They have something called Grand Bis Hotel. It was at a #1 this week. I didn't have the cash for it at the particular time. So
maybe I'm thinking of IDW. There's so many like little comic book companies out there now.
I'm so happy. Yeah, IDW seems like it. Like I know that most of their stuff is they have like Transformers, Judge Dredd, but they do have a few originals like Amber Blake and stuff like that. But
I can't remember which it was, but I know one of them sort of presented themselves originally as a company that just did licensed properties, but maybe they've all moved on from that. It makes sense.
IDW, definitely. I'd say 85% of their books are pre-licensed already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I thought that. Yeah, I mean, I know IDW does that a lot, and I'll never forgive IDW for ruining G.I. Joe.
Yeah. the reboot is Philip.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's although I mean I don't know. We can save it for super connectivity, but did anyone see the end of the Dungeons and Dragons series?
No.
I heard it was in a commercial. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it, but I heard it was in the commercial.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that on Super Connectivity.
Okay.
Because that's big news.
Okay. Oh, all right. How about a
That's our teaser for Super Connectivity.
okay?
Let's talk comic book.
How about a book we all read, Immortal Hulk, number 18.
That was okay.
Top 3 Marvel books for me this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
I mean, I love that Joe.
Oh,
I love that Joe Fixit's back, and I love Banner waking up in his body. It's like, hey, where'd this suit and this mustache come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like him trying to talk to the things through the mirror, which is like, dude, just go to the crossroad of the minds already.
Yeah, exactly. That's like their new status quo. They can't seem to. I guess they can't do that for some reason.
Yeah, but clearly Banner's still like in some way or another in charge. I like that Joe Fixit in Banner's body is still incredibly successful at everything he does. It's like even without maybe when he is Banner, he's found a way to access the strength. Too,
Or he's an expert gambler or something because he like he got a little bit of money.
Well, he still has that big brain. Here, I think, is the big buried lead.
Oh, Harpy.
Yeah.
Red Harpy.
Yeah, I don't think that's Betty Banner.
Oh,
Because they do a call out to Marlowe in this.
oh yeah.
And that whole thing with Marlowe. And Marlowe was the red harpy. Or she might have been a green harpy too, I'm not sure. But although Betty was the original harpy, they redid Marlowe as the harpy.
Oh
And
yeah.
when she's talking about everything being smashed.
Yeah, because Banner even throws out that line. He's like, "Oh, Marlowe, wonder whatever happened to her."
Yes, exactly. I think that's Marlowe as the harpy, not Betty Banner.
But this whole book has made me look at Charlie Esser in a whole new light. I think we've
got what with mustaches?
Well, I think yeah. I think you have some kind of multiple personalities. We got business Charlie right now, but then the stash comes out at certain points, and then
yeah. I tell you what, I'm looking at a job at a prison, and once there, I think I can grow out the mustache and the shaved head without difficulty.
At a prison.
Well, yeah, doing being the admin for the health and safety administrator. So it's what I do, but it'd be in an environment that I think I could actually get away with shaving the head, growing out the mustache, being me.
Nice.
Finally, the true Charlie will be released. That's the goal. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. I don't know how, and again, the body horror in it. It's just when he sees, oh, there's Rick inside. It's like, kill me. First of all, I hate anytime anyone says kill me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, really?
See, the artwork is the best part about this book for me. Like, finally, like the story, it's like real, like deep dives of Hawk stuff combined with that story, and I love body horror. So, and
not for nothing. Peter David did it better. Because he did Banner pulling out of the Hulk's body when they were first trying to kill himself. Because he knew he was vulnerable, and if he could kill himself, it would kill the Hulk. That was when they first reformed him back again.
Oh yeah.
Everybody said the Hulk can't live without Banner, and the Banner cannot live with the Hulk, and they phased them both together with the help of the Vision.
I think or Peter David. I don't think Peter David was on the book at that point.
I think it was. Are you sure?
I don't think so, dumbass. I can go downstairs and check. I mean,
it's entirely possible. I mean, I don't know who writes these books, Philip. I just know the stories that happen. All I know is someone else did it better with the actual Banner trying to. I thought Peter David was the one who separated the Hulk. I thought that was him. But he created Rick Jones Hulk and all that story.
I think it was right before him, maybe. But yeah, I mean,
he might have started out right when Hulk turned gray again. That's right.
I think, yeah.
Okay, so that was no, actually.
I think around 330 or 331. I think.
Actually, I think that was his first book.
Okay, maybe.
I think that was his first book because I think they did the remerging. And then Peter David started out in the next book, and that's when you had that he was still unstable. I think we can look into it, but I think I'm just saying it feels like a Peter David thing when Banner's pulling himself out of the Hulk trying to kill himself.
Note to self, go downstairs between shows. All right, everyone, stay tuned for Super Connectivity on Wednesday when I tell Charlie how it is.
Okay, yeah, please feel free. I'm always happy to be corrected. I don't have the encyclopedic knowledge of how these things came to be. I just know what happened in the stories. I'm like the Watcher. I don't know who writes the stories. I just know the stories that happen. I'm not a fancy man. I'm not a fancy man, Philip.
Can we discuss what happened to Superior Spider-Man? Like, this issue was not up to snuff. I'm sorry.
Really?
What?
Yeah. I feel like it's plateaued. It's peaked.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, Lilith, we will call that our disagreement.
Why, Lilith? What was your problem with it?
I don't know. It doesn't feel fresh and fun anymore. It feels kind of like stale, I guess. And I'm not like a big fan of Doctor Strange either. So
well,
okay. Well, so if you're not a fan of Dr. Octopus, not a fan of Doctor Strange, this might not be the book for you, Lilith.
Like, I like that guy, but it's Doctor Strange. It's like, okay, this is where we might have to part ways.
Okay, well, and that's fine if that's the decision you have to make. To me, what I love about this story is, first off, you have, Doctor Strange being very dismissive of Otto in the way that, like Tony Stark to Eldridge Killian in Iron Man 2.
3.
Meet me up on the roof kind of thing. And then 1 year later, when Doctor Strange is a hopeless drunk on the street, Otto sees him, recognizes him, and he makes the point that he can't have this guy be a part of his project. He still tips the guy at 20 in like freaking 1981 money, which is a huge amount of money for a freaking drunk like Doctor Strange. Yeah, that's like a whole day's worth of drinking.
Yeah, but you don't think that's like a dismissive thing? Like, yeah, here's a $20 bill. I know you can't.
Well, if he had given him $1, yeah. If it had been anything less than a 20, at a 20, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money to give to a homeless dude. It's a lot of things. I understand you're a person and I respect you, and maybe you might actually do something well with your life, but honestly, you're self-destructive, and I don't know what to do with that. It's a lack of empathy, but it still actually shows an incredible amount of empathy for Dr. Octopus at that point before the accident, to say, here's money. Here's what I can give you. I feel sorry for you because you were once a great and brilliant man, but you've clearly lost it.
Wasn't that the modern Otto? It's like he actually was like a decent human being before the accident.
Well, that's the original Otto.
Yeah.
That's his current statement is, I used to be a good guy. I was socially awkward, but I was a really decent guy. It was the robots that made me crazy. The robots I currently have working behind me right now. Yeah. I loved it's Master Pandemonium's plot,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was great.
You didn't think that was dispatched too quickly? Like, I don't know.
Well, you know what? Not for nothing, he's not an A-list supervillain. He's not here for a 4-arc run. Mephisto's here for a 4-arc run.
He's basically the West Coast Avenger. He was the West Coast Avengers punching bag back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
what I like about this.
Oh yeah.
Here's what I love about this, because it feeds into my clones have souls theory. And the idea that, the wizard actually could be the most powerful person in hell if he actually ever went there. Because he has like 1,000 different wizards all sitting in hell waiting to join him. And I'm wondering if Otto might have a little bit of that cachet too,
Clone?
So I'm wondering if we're going to look into that at some point in the future with our Mephisto tie-in.
I love Ben Reilly.
That's someone else, Philip.
That's a clone?
It's a clone, but it's not one of Otto's clones.
I know.
Or is it?
And I like how they resolve with the other lady who's like, I'm not going to date you, Tolliver, but I'm going to let you have your thing because, okay, you saved my life.
I don't want to kill me.
Yeah, it is what it is, And then Otto just laughing his head off about the fact that he just found out that Otto's trying to be good, which is its own big revelation that, maybe there are limitations to Mephisto's awareness, because how did he not already know that,
Mhm.
And next week, it's a tie-in with West Coast Avengers, whom I love, and then it's going to be a tie-in with the whole War of the Realms, which is like...
Oh, God, that storyline. When is it going to be over?
Yeah,
Like, they went and
this
drug
was
for
super
Spider-Man
disappointing.
into it, and that one was terrible. And Fantastic Four, I'm just like, I'll be back next time.
Basically,
This was disappointing.
Hey, let's smash some Frost Giants. Most of them are just like, hey.
Well, here's what's stupid about it, because like the whole reason they're attacking is because of Valeria's communications thing.
Fantastic Four.
Franklin blows it up, and they all leave. It's like, well, great. It's like, oh, you shouldn't have blown it up. Yeah. Then by the end of the issue, she's talking on it again. So clearly, it took her like all of 5 minutes to rebuild the dang thing. In which case, actually, Franklin made the right choice. He destroyed it. They went away, and then they could rebuild it, and maybe they're not looking for it anymore. So.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh, the Frost Giants just leave when it's destroyed. I'm like, well, why couldn't they just rebuild it in 5 minutes? Especially when you have Valeria, you have Reed Richards.
Yeah, they probably rebuilt it even better. They could probably turn back on the phones tomorrow. Okay,
yeah.
There you go. Phones are back.
Okay, Lilith. Did you read Doomsday Clock 10?
Wait, no. You're not going to talk about Daredevil number 6.
Oh, I'm trying to save stuff for connectivity, but
never mind. Then
we can talk that.
It's fine because let me get this what book? Oh, Doomsday. It was not worth the wait. Everybody else is ranting and raving over only because everything else was so terrible this week, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, well, Charlie, it's basically when they showed Dr. Manhattan when he leaves the Watchmen universe, comes to DC in 1938, sees Superman, like when he's first around, lifting the car over his head. But then time changes and Superman doesn't appear now until 1956, and then it's like, I guess what is it? The Earth Zero, which I guess the main DC universe is now is Earth Zero, always tries to heal itself every time after a major crisis.
It's so lazy.
It's all based around
so lazy.
It's them, Lilith, trying to tie everything together from Action Comics #1 until now. They want everything to count.
Lazy. It's like, dude, you got to pick a side. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry. It's lazy to me. It's like, oh, let's just fan service and people please, and let's not take a definitive stand on anything because that works well for anybody, right?
I mean, here's what I'll say. It's fine to do it. I mean, I haven't read the book, but the idea that Superman is the core of the DC universe makes sense. Not for nothing. It's kind of like the way they treat him, though. It's kind of like the Fantastic Four being the core of the Marvel universe. No matter how many times everybody, even though Fantastic Four is not as popular as it ever has been, they still got to say, look, this is the starting point. This is our Annus Domini. Or Annum Domini. This is our AD. This is where we start our counting. This is where we say this is the beginning. And
they're just lucky the art was beautiful. I'll say that. Like, stunning.
Well, yeah. You're not going to choose on the art for this.
How long was it?
Oh, they kept pushing this thing back. Did they do it to coincide with Heroes in Crisis #9, the conclusion?
I think it just worked out that way. I think they realized it should work that way.
I guess, but just they throw Wally West in jail and they complete the time loop by sending a Wally West clone back to be the dead body.
Leave my Wally West alone.
I know.
For the love
Why are
of
they
goodness.
creating time loops? What is the purpose of that?
Time loop. There was a dead Wally West body, so we have to send the dead clone body back. It's just like,
why?
Yeah, Heroes in Crisis was
well, and then they lock.
That doesn't make any time travel sense.
And then they lock.
Their time travel's not too strong. I mean,
Tom King. King.
Do they have weak time travel rules in the DC universe?
No.
King.
You gotta know
There's
your
too
time
many
travel
different
before you
kinds of
start
time travel.
Well, I don't know if they're trying to tie it in the Doomsday Clock too, because after they lock up Wally West, his emblem starts glowing blue.
About damn time.
Okay.
So yeah, I just
Because of Dr. Manhattan, I guess.
Anytime there's like, stuff people don't like anymore out there, they're just like, oh well, Dr. Manhattan's out there. It's just like, yeah, okay.
Dr. Manhattan is the new Khal Drogo's are.
Isn't he just Mixoplexix?
Just go with the
I mean, not for nothing. Isn't he just? I'm from another dimension. I have amazing powers, and I can screw up with your universe.
yeah, Mr. Mitchell.
Like, oh, hi, Beyonder. It's good to meet you.
Mr. Mitchell with a huge dong.
Dong is a
Biggest
medical
ticket?
term.
Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not that big in the comics, unless they've made it bigger. In recent-
It's no Power Girl's boobs, is what he's saying. Somebody
Well, what
caught
I'm
that
saying is,
immediately.
so Ellen, they actually specifically said that they wanted it to be apparent and not overstated. I'm big all over.
Unlike Batman,
Well, please, yeah.
which I'm
The
telling you, that
point
was a
is
tube
that-
stock.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Did you read Last Night on Earth #1, Lilith?
I did. I actually kind of liked it,
Oh, did you?
and I hate myself for it. But
I mean, it's not bad. It's
after the Batman, yeah.
I've heard good things.
I hear things. But yeah, I mean, it's
I'm
basically
just saying I've heard good things. Actually, almost wanted to read it, but I kind of spent my $20 this week. So.
it's basically like it's basically Old Man Batman, but it's like the Snyder and Coppola wrapping up their run on Batman.
You know what? I feel like Arrow's gonna steal this and like give this to John Diggle or something. Like I don't know. Like it was weird.
But no, it's like
I would love if the last episode of Arrow is Old Man Arrow.
We wish.
Gonna die.
Dun, dun. Well, he said he's willing to come back. So unless they're gonna like grab him from a different point in time, I don't know.
But no, it was funny because like Tyler messaged me. He's like, why? Because this is another Black Label book. He's like, why doesn't this seem like a Black Label book to me? I said, no Batman dong, maybe.
Yeah, they learned their lesson. Dong is a medical term.
Okay, well,
That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know,
Not for
$6
nothing.
though.
People
It
do
is
not
kind of
like
lacking for $6.
The reality is, no one likes to look at penises. Men don't like to look at penises. Women don't like to look at penises. No one likes to look at a penis.
Lilith Hellfire would disagree with you, sir.
Yeah, I'm sure I can.
Let me
find
put it
a
this way:
couple
you
of
don't want to
people
look at
that
a
disagree.
penis you didn't ask for.
Sober, Lilith. You don't like looking when you're sober.
No, I don't like.
We all like to
looking
look
when
at
I'm drunk
penises
either.
when we want to look at penises. We don't want to be surprised. Nobody likes a surprise penis. Let's say that.
Yeah. True.
It's like, oh, I wasn't expecting the penis today. Thank you for playing, Mr. Penis. Welcome to the game.
Our longest drop.
Blocked. It's called blocked and deleted.
I need some muscle and some meat.
That is not the thing you want to surprise someone with.
Anyway, moving right along. Yeah. $6 though. I don't know. It was a little lacking. I liked the story, but the artwork was a little lacking. That's all.
$6 for a comic book?
Dog Days of Summer was 10. Whoever picked that up.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Superman Leviathan special. That was $10.
Oh, I skipped right past that.
I
I was like,
I remember when you could get like a cardboard cover
Well, I don't know if it's
graphic novel, like God Loves Man Kills, for like $4.99.
preach, brother. I know. But no,
You've been listening to Comic Capers?
look at this. Batman
Or The Big Change, my favorite graphic novel.
Batman
Not
Last Night on
to
Earth
Dazzler, the movie.
and the Superman Leviathan special. Leviathan special it's a little thicker than Last Night on Earth, not that much, and it's like what?
So what is Leviathan? Is that like a Terran-based organization? Is that
It was-
ancient demon force?
It was an organization run by Talia al Ghul. Now there's some guy in a red metal mask, and they haven't revealed his identity yet.
Okay, but can we all just talk about how this is basically just going to be a spinoff for Jimmy Olsen finally getting another freaking book?
Jimmy and Lois Lane, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I've been waiting like what, my whole life for that.
Really?
I love the old Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane comics. I do.
Okay,
So.
maybe I haven't read many of them, but
They're
Okay,
funny
I mean,
and
I've
they're
got nothing against
cheesy.
Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen is awesome. Lois Lane is fantastic as well. I mean,
It's time that his
I
side characters have been developed. They've been on the back burner for like the last 12 years. So I'm really excited about what they want to do with that. Since Bendis has no intentions on doing anything with Lois Lane except for sending her off to do stuff.
you know the problem with Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane is that they're best friends with Superman, and it's like they're great, like Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew kind of characters. You know, hard scrabble, finding the truth at all costs kind of people. But when they can just call Superman with their subsonic watch, it always becomes this question: why aren't you calling Superman more? So,
oh yeah, and the best thing is neither one of those books is being written by Bendis.
That's what I'm saying. That is
Oh,
what
you
I'm
know what?
saying.
Superman's pouch
maybe
being written by
Bendis is intentionally driving a wedge between these characters so that they can have new life under other writers.
I don't know.
No,
But
he
yeah,
just doesn't want to do anything with them. So he's like, yeah, sure, take them.
Jimmy Olsen.
It's not like they're the core of his character or anything.
Yeah, Jimmy Olsen's being written by Matt Fraction,
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
and Lois Lane being written by Greg Rucka.
I don't know about that. After what he did with Wonder Woman, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. He's still on my my S list right now for that whole Wonder Woman thing. So we'll see. Maybe.
Can I talk an indie book that's not Marvel or DC that I really liked?
Sure.
Oh, Blossom 666 number 4. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
Stranger Things 6 number 1 of 4.
Ooh.
Do you watch the TV show?
Of course, I love the TV show. And this is takes place in the 1970s, so ancient history, man. But it's telling the story of 6 and 3. Now, up until now, we've got 8 and 11. So these are like characters from before we even met them.
Did you say that's issue? Did you say that's issue 4?
Issue 1 of 4.
1 of 4.
1 of 4. And get the feeling this is going to be a strong lead-in to the new season we're about to get.
Oh, so it is
Fun
canon?
fact, I don't know. I don't know if they ever make any statements about what's canon and what's not until the audience decides what's canon and what's not. Or more specifically, the writers on the show decide it. But fun thing I've noticed with the series is that first season was winter, second season was fall, third season will be summer, so the fourth season will likely be spring. So they're doing the seasons in reverse order in subsequent years. So sort of feeding into the
I never
upside
got
down.
past the first episode of Stranger Things. I don't know why. I just didn't.
Okay, well, you know what? There's a lot of shows out there. And
No,
not
I
for
know.
nothing,
And it's
even-
like, oh, it's like 80s too. I love 80s. And it's like kids riding bikes in
Yeah.
the 80s. I don't know. I just never got
Well,
back.
you know, it's like What If, you know, I've been watching What If a lot.
Out of
not
morbid
to-
curiosity.
Well, you know what I found? Like, the less I watch it, the more I like it.
He was like, wait a minute, this isn't Marvel.
No, it's what/if. They headed that off at the pass because Marvel already had the injunction on them. Like, your show's not called What
Make
If.
it out of our way.
Nice
it's
try,
called
Netflix.
What/If. But what I find is that the show is best when I'm watching it while I'm on Facebook.
I thought you say drunk.
Background
So, like, when
noise.
I'm doing something else, when I'm binging it, which means I'm asleep half the episode, it's really fun to watch. So anytime I really watch it and hear the dialogue, it's like, oh, I give up.
Well,
Now, if you
have
love
you ever
that
seen
kind of cheesy
Revenge?
dialogue,
Yeah, Mike
this is
Kelly
the show
did
for you.
Revenge, and he does this show too. And I was like, oh my god, this is just Revenge. Like this, because it's to me in my head canon, it's Revenge Part 2.
yeah, and entirely possible. It's got that hyperbolic dialogue that if you're the guy who loves that stuff, and sometimes I do. I'll be honest with you, sometimes I love that. I love that this is what we of Clan Bruja do to you of Clan Gangrel. You know, that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. But sometimes it's not as enjoyable as other times. And but I do find that the underlying story I'm enjoying.
I'm just happy
I've
Renee
gotten to-
Zellweger got work again. I thought we stopped
I
carrying
love
her for a
Renee
while.
Zellweger in this.
And then she-
Honestly, this is so great for Renee Zellweger. She is such a great character in this. She makes this. Honestly, anytime Renee Zellweger is on screen, it's a fun show to watch. The other lady, she's like, this was definitely written by a Gen Xer because the millennials are for nothing in it now.
yeah.
Not to be mean, I'm just saying, definitely a Gen Xer wrote this because they're looking at, this is what a millennial is like. And they are not enjoyable characters at all. But
All right. All right. Before we leave, Lilith, I know you brought up Daredevil number 6. Did you want to?
No. Y'all can save it for super connectivity.
I don't want to cut you.
Okay.
It's fine. I just wanted to make sure
I mean,
you picked it up.
I'll say this: it did not confirm my fan theory
We're at a
yet.
loss for topics.
Yeah, we're never at a loss for topic. Lilith, I'm on that show.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We can get out of here,
Yeah.
Philip.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Bless this mess. Send us your thoughts on any of this. Comics, TV, movies. Oh, next week, send us your thoughts because we're going to be doing X-Men Dark Phoenix review.
Phil's torturing me. Save me. Help.
Oh,
Me and Tristan are gonna love it.
you don't think it's not going to? There's no morbid curiosity there.
Oh, there's something morbid, all right. I just
Whoa!
need curiosity.
like slowly driving past a car wreck. It's
Yeah.
the last one under Fox. Come on.
Exactly. So yeah, I kind of have to. But yeah.
It's historic. Like a massacre. Anyway, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/capesandlunatics, at capeslunatics on Twitter, Capes and Lunatics on Instagram. The voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And make sure to check out capesandlunatics.org. Good stuff is coming.
Don't look at me like that, Philip.
You're not even on camera. How am I looking at you? I just see that sullen picture of yours. Anyway, Lil Hellfire, where can people fight you on the internet?
If you nerds must fight me on the internet, you can find me via Twitter at Lil Hellfire, and I'm on the gram at Lil Hellfire 86. Fight me, nerd.
And Charlie Esser.
If you'd like to fight me, nerds, you can do so on Twitter. Well, you can do so via email at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, do so on Twitter at Charlie Esser, where I live tweet Agents of Shields and Cloak and Dagger, which I did for the first time this week. Yay! Just before they both go on break. At Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIE.
Did he freeze?
BSSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing.
I was trying to do that. That's what happened there. But that's good. I'm glad it
You can't do that, man. It's Google Hangouts.
We lost her.
Anyway, such a ham. Anyway, for another week, we have been the Capes.
And the sun!
Nice burping that out, Will. Make fun out of your mouth.
I realized I have the easiest line there.
No, don't.
You're the
This
jet.
mess. That's right. Next episode. Come back next week for X-Men Dark Phoenix. We may have some of our friends, hopefully.
Nobody's gonna know.
Maybe a Mr. Mothman or maybe some people from Alaska. One or two of them. So check it out. Oh man.
Just leave it like that. Oh man.
I know. Oh well, that's how it goes.
Well, all right, fellas.